there is compelling evidence that breathing certain things, like for example, there's an essential oil called spikenard, that has it in it as well. But the ones that we know the most are frankincense and myrrh. And interestingly enough, in the same family as frankincense and myrrh, over here in the West is Palo Santo. And a lot of shamanic ceremonies also burn Palo Santo. Sage also appears to have some of these sesquiterpenes in them. And sage is used in the smudging ceremonies for Native Americans. So those scents actually awaken your psychic centers. So when you see what they do in the cathedrals, they have these huge incense burners, big, big metallic cans like this, and they swing them back and forth on these chains, and the whole place gets covered with this smoke. So you're breathing this, it activates your pineal gland, you got the pyramid effect from the roof, you got Gregorian chant, these very pure, sacred fifth type of songs, and then you're hearing this stuff, it's echoing, and then you're looking at that stained glass window, which is a mandala. So it's a perfect ascension chamber, built to activate your consciousness. You go there once a week, you get this huge spiritual hit, but you don't know why. The Knight Templars brought all that science over from Egypt. And that is the alchemical science. It is intended to activate the spirit. But that's not where the mystery ends. The mystery gets much, much deeper once we look at, again, this relationship between the earth and the moon, and how it's all going to come back to this cathedral. So here again, and this is a diagram by Michael Schneider, who's going to become very important in a minute. And I want to start talking now about the actual numbers involved in all this. So here's where Michael Schneider points out some very interesting things. So first of all, the diameter of the Earth from pole to pole is 7,920 miles. Notice that on the far right. The diameter of the moon is 2,160 miles. And if you take the distance between the center of the Earth and the center of the moon, if they're touching side by side, you get 5,040 miles. So that is the radius of the Earth-Moon circle. Now, what's so weird about this number? This is going to blow your mind. It's not just any old number. You start playing around with multiplication, and it turns out that 5,040 is, look at this, 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6 times 7. Oh my goodness, how is that even possible? You just count right up. This suggests now that actually both the Earth and the Moon were designed to be perfectly calibrated so that the mile encodes this relationship of counting up in multiplication. The likelihood that that's a coincidence, I'm sorry, it just doesn't, come on, doesn't work. It's really, really bizarre. Now, I want you to look at the next one, which is the polar diameter of the Earth, which is 7,920 miles. That's over there on the right. Now what happens when we play around with that? Believe it or not, here it is, 8 times 9 times 10 times 11. So this again suggests the exact Earth itself was designed or was artificially built perhaps, or even more strange, and what I go into in Source Field is the idea that the Earth has to be at one of these critical sizes, and that the mile and the inch and the foot are in fact sacred proportions that are like a universal quantum. That all planets, all moons, are going to only exist at certain sizes that will be in harmony with these sacred relationships of the inch, the foot, the mile. Now that's even weirder because it suggests that there is some sort of quantum wavelength, and that the Earth will only be able to stay at one size, and then it expands and it goes to the next quantum, in which it will bypass one level and go into another set of harmonic relationships. That's really weird stuff, but it all is really amazing when you look at this. Now, this just frickin' blows me away. Take a look at what we're seeing here. If you don't get it, I'm going to point it out to you. 5,040 miles, Earth to the Moon, 50.40 feet. It's just a decimal point. But there it is. Stonehenge precisely locks in that same relationship in feet as a decimal number. This strongly suggests whoever built Stonehenge knew the exact proportions of the Earth and the Moon, which they were not supposed to know back then. But wait, there's more. Let's go back and look again. 2,160 miles of diameter for the moon is 21.60 feet in the size of the hidden circles implied by Stonehenge. And then you got the polar diameter of the Earth at 7,920 miles, which just so happens to be 79.20 feet in the Stonehenge layout. And now we're looking at the exact width of the inner ring of stones before you get to the horseshoe. How the heck did they do this? Whoa. Mind blown. That's